If I can help them figure out their fear dance, and you own your reactions, your triggers, and then your actions that causes his reaction and triggers that causes his action, and you can kind of plot out what that looks like, you can start to take responsibility for, I can break this part.
Right.
All right, well, we are here with just us girls. Some dear friends opened up their home to us, and we're able to sit poolside with the girls. I've got Diane and Kara and Danielle and Dr. Mary. Dr. Mary is a clinical psychologist. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's been dealing with couples and individuals and families for over 25 years.
And my own marriage, too.
And your own marriage, too. Oh, I love that. Good to know. Good to know. And we are so glad you're here with us.
Thank you. So
Just
good
us
to be here.
girls.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're talking about something that you call the fear dance.
Yes.
What is that?
It's just to scare people.
It works.
In actuality, if you think about the last few conflicts that you've had as a couple, and you put aside the content of what you're actually fighting about, your dance is kind of pretty similar. One of you is the one who kind of retreats, the other one's the pursuer. You kind of go quiet, or somebody goes explosive, and it just seems to be the same thing. And no matter how much you talk, you just keep doing this. And it's called the fear dance because it's triggering. Every time we do one of these dances, it's not just that I'm reacting to my husband's behavior just because it's just bad behavior, but it's actually because there's something that he's doing that's triggering a strong response in me. So in general, and it differs, but in general, women fear rejection and abandonment. So if my husband's walking away from me because he's trying to calm himself down, I'm not going, oh, he's calming himself down, I should give him space. I'm like, he's leaving me. So what do? I either chase him or I use my words to catch him back. You leaving? Why are you leaving? And then of course, with men, their predominant fears are fear of failure, and guess what? This is terrible. Fear of being controlled. So then when you have your woman coming after you, telling you to stop and listen to me, ding, ding. First of all, I have failed as a husband here because obviously I didn't do it well. Even though I'm just trying to keep my cool, I'm trying to not get angry at her. And then she's trying to tell me to come back. She's trying to control me. So this is the typical fear dance. It can differ from person to person depending on, their background and all that, but that's what it is. And when I do marriage counseling with couples, you'll see that I actually rarely talk about the content of what they argue about, although that sometimes needs to be addressed. If I can help them figure out their fear dance, and you own your reactions, your triggers, and then your actions that causes his reaction and triggers that causes his action, then you can kind of plot out what that looks like. You can start to take responsibility for, I can break this part.
Right.
So I just thought this would be fun if somebody's willing to volunteer to talk about your latest fight. I love what I do. What can I say?
She loves her job.
I can't say. So whoever wants to volunteer to talk about their latest fight that they had, and let's just kind of talk it through and see if that helps the audience understand that a little bit better.
All right. Hey,
All right, you're
We have a volunteer. I see that.
why not, right? I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Latest, we don't really fight. We just have conversations. That may get a little, But let's see. Okay, recently, let's see, how do I put this? I sent an email, a business email, in a way that just trying to explain things that needed to transpire. And I had a conversation with my husband before this, and he suggested, I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh.
But I was like, I'm doing it anyway. Right?
Oh, I love the inner dialogue.
Okay. So, send the email, and my feedback wasn't so great. And so then what do I have to do? Go to my husband and say, can you believe this? How dare they respond this way, right? So I'm reading him both emails, right? And he just stands there. And before I get to the second paragraph, he just lashes in. Well, first of all, you shouldn't have sent the email. I told you shouldn't have sent the email. This is what you should have said. It should have been. And I'm thinking, hold on, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on my side. What's happening right now, right? Are you listening to what was said? And he's like, okay, how do we fix this? This is what you should have done. This is what you, and I'm thinking, no.
So if I can pause you there, what emotions were you feeling when your husband's telling you to fix it and that you did it wrong.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, I thought, you're not on my team.
Ah, you're not on my team.
You're not on my side.
So you feel
you're
like
taking
you're on
their
your own.
side,
Yeah.
right? I'm by myself. I'm trying to fix this problem, and then you're taking their side. So I was like, okay, I'm not liking this conversation right now, right? And he just begins to just tell me everything that I did wrong.
Ooh.
I don't want to hear what I did wrong. I already know I messed up, right? Tell me something good. Don't tell me what I did wrong. Help me fix this, right?
Yes.
But instead, I get everything that, well, you shouldn't have done this, and this should have said this way, and you should have made. Really?
So you got angry by the sounds of it.
I did.
Yeah.
I got a little heated.
But the thing that's interesting is that underneath it, I hear that you were actually really hurt. You felt alone. You felt like he was against you and not for you.
Yeah.
And although you reacted in anger because you wanted to just shut him down, your deep emotion was, be here for me, like walk with me. Which of course you didn't say that.
No.
So what happened is that the tension increased because now you're mad at him.
Yes, I am.
And all he's trying to do is trying to help you.
Yep, I was mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
And you were probably triggering, and when you're getting angry, if he's has a tendency to withdraw, he probably is afraid of conflict. And is it going to mean that she's going to be mad at me, and then she's going to punish me, and who knows what thoughts would have been going through your mind. Right? So here's another interesting example of a dance. It's different from what I just said, but you can clearly see, you know, your husband's desire to help went totally south. And triggered all these strong emotions that led it to escalate. And this is what happens. And it makes you kind of go afterwards, wow, I really overreacted, but you can't quite pinpoint why. And it's because there's been some triggers of some deep-rooted fears or insecurities. So I don't know if you guys have anything that you want to share.
Who wants to go first? Okay. So what's that saying? If you dance with someone long enough, you're bound to step on their toes.
Yes.
Or have your toes stepped on.
Yes.
And that's what you're saying the fear dance does. We're stepping on each other's fears, and we're bound to get hurt.
Yes.
And now I think Dan and I are the most typical, what you're saying here, the wife's fear is abandonment and rejection, and then the man doesn't want to be controlled. And you know, for me, early on in marriage, I think I definitely had those fears, especially because my parents were divorced. I came from a divorce situation, so the feeling of needing to feel secure. And then I have a husband who travels and leaves me often. So it really
Makes you very vulnerable.
Yes. And so then he felt, you know, I'm upset that he's leaving, and it was just a situation where we're stepping on each other's toes because he's feeling controlled.
Right.
He's feeling like I'm not. How can I win in this situation? I need to go out and be the breadwinner, but I'm leaving you behind, and you're setting me up for failure either way. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know. So we had, you know, the dance, the tango, every once in a while over that for sure.
Yeah. And you know, you're going to continue growing in your marriage. So 30 years later into the marriage, and you know, I think I've worked really hard on my husband. He's mostly fixed. I hope he's not listening. But I find that even after years of being married, there will still come times where there's certain vulnerabilities, and boom, the dance is happening
Still dancing. You just hope to step on their toes less.
Yes, and or less frequently,
Less
maybe,
frequently.
and be quicker to say, whoa, I'm doing this dancing again, I need to stop.
Recognize it.
And be able to own it. So I did have one time where I was like, oh, I'm getting triggered here. When I was able to say that to him, it's not actually your fault. It's something going on in me, because when you said that, it reminded me of something my mom used to say to me all the time. And that just broke the ice with the conflict there.
Yeah.
I heard that a woman's mega need is security, and a man's mega need is honor and respect. And so when we're arguing,
Yes.
it really does tug away at those mega needs. You know, I need security. I need him to hear me out. And he needs honor and respect. But if he's emotionally, you know, staying back and listening and not really giving me what I need, then I might push harder.
Right.
And then he's feeling like that honor and respect need is being attacked. And so it really is a dance.
It is.
How to do it properly and in love, and realize, like
with
you're
respect,
saying,
yeah.
that, you know, we're different. We're wired differently. We think differently, and we react to each other differently. And it's okay. Neither one is wrong. We just need to learn how to do it right.
Yeah, and for men, when we get emotionally intense, they tell me that it actually hurts their brain. There's actual signals that go off that hurts their brain. So, you know, we had been talking just between taping about how you can tend to go historical in some of your fights. So it's already done, dealt with, fight's passed. Why are you bringing it up again? So I don't know, maybe you can talk to that a little bit.
Well, you know, like you said, it's a dance. I've noticed that our fights, whatever the content is, the back and forth is still the same. You know, I'm the pursuer. I want to just get this done and figure it out and get it over with. And Dan needs more space to process and time to figure things out and think through. And I'm talking a mile a minute and he's quiet. So it's, you know, just it has a similar look to it, but will often be different. But I can tend to bring up things from the past for sure.
If it's not resolved in your mind.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? We talked about how women want security and want to want that protection and everything from their spouse. And that was interesting to me because for me, I lost my dad when I was 18 years old, right? And he was murdered, brutally murdered.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes, especially early on in our marriage, I totally would find times when I would have to back off because I was looking for that protection that I missed out on, right? I was looking for that, you know, be there for me, hear me, protect me. And I found that because I lost my dad, you know, during those years where it's teenagers, girls, very vulnerable, need that father figure, I didn't have that. And I was looking for that from my husband.
Right, exactly.
And it was wrong, right?
Well, that's what happens when there's been injury or loss. We tend to idealize and say, oh, surely it should be better out there if I can just find the right person.
Yeah.
And so for a young couple like you, Kara, surely this person's perfect, meets all my needs.
Yeah.
And the conversation can continue.
Yes.
I mean, we have so much to say and so much to share. That's why we love having these Just Us Girls times. And so, Kara, we're going to get you to talk a lot more on the next one. Okay?
Leave us hanging
In the
there.
meantime, we're glad you've joined us. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to come after this.